Now at 6, celebrities and coaches caught up in a sweeping national college admissions bribery scheme, one with a South Florida connection as well. Actresses Felicity Huffman and Loughlin are among dozens of people criminally charged today.
Justice Department officials say they were part of a scam that offered students near-perfect college admissions test scores or fake athletic profiles to secure spots at elite universities. CBS 4's Joy Benedict begins our team coverage.
Joy is live in Los Angeles at the University of Southern California campus. Joy?
That's right, guys. Right now, as we speak, all these indictments are taking place in a federal courthouse here in Los Angeles, including Felicity Huffman, who's supposed to make her first appearance here within the hour. As for what's going on here at USC, 5 either current or former employees were part of this scandal, and we just learned that the 2 that were supposedly current employees have now been let go. Actor William H. Macy arrived at the Los Angeles courthouse hours after his wife, Felicity Huffman, was arrested in a sweeping college admissions scam. Huffman and actress Loughlin are among 33 parents charged with bribing their way into the nation's most elite universities.
Their actions were, without a doubt, insidious, selfish, and shameful.
The indictment names about 50 people, pointing to William Rick Singer as the mastermind. He pleaded guilty in Boston to racketeering, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice. He's accused of taking $25 million from parents and bribing college coaches at schools including Yale, Stanford, and Georgetown to recruit students with fake athletic credentials.
In one example, the head women's soccer coach at Yale, in exchange for $400,000, accepted an applicant as a recruit for the Yale women's team, despite knowing that the applicant did not even play competitive soccer.
Loughlin and her fashion designer husband are accused of paying $500,000 to have their 2 daughters recruited to the USC crew team, even though neither participate in the sport. Another part of the scam involved the SAT and ACT college entrance exams. Huffman is accused of paying $15,000 for someone to secretly correct answers on her daughter's tests. USC said in a statement that it has terminated its water polo coach as well as a senior associate athletic director. It is also conducting an internal investigation and plans to cooperate fully with prosecutors. Prosecutors say the true victims in this are hardworking students who play by the rules.
For every student admitted through fraud, an honest, genuinely talented student was rejected.
No students were charged in the scheme. Authorities say in many cases the students were not aware of their parents' actions. And guys, you got to understand that this case dates all the way back to 2011 going to 2019. So some of those students may have already graduated from these universities or they may still be enrolled in these universities. But right now, as I mentioned, they're saying that the students are not at fault, that they were not aware that this was going on. And as everyone's been talking about, of course, this scandal may have helped them get into those colleges, but staying in them was certainly their responsibility. Elliot Rudabay.
Joy Benedict reporting live from Los Angeles. Joy, thank you very much.
Our team coverage now with a South Florida connection to the story. A Miami developer facing federal charges in the scheme.
CBS 4's Ted Scouten is live in Miami Beach outside the home of Robert Zangrillo. And Ted, fill us in on what you've learned about him.
Yeah, Elliot and Rudabay, he is accused of similar crimes to other parents around the country, paying to get his daughter into a good college. In this case, it was the University of Southern California. Robert Zangrillo lives off the Venetian Causeway. This is listed as his home. He's well known in many circles as the founder of the investment company Dragon Global. Some big projects he's involved with include the Miami Innovation District along Biscayne Boulevard around Little Haiti and a development in Wynwood. Now federal investigators tell us Zangrillo conspired to bribe athletic department officials at USC to designate his daughter as an athletic recruit. According to investigators, his daughter's grades were not good enough to get into USC. He, along with nearly 3 dozen parents, are charged in the same case.
Make no mistake, this is not a case where parents were acting in the best interests of their children. This is a case where they flaunted their wealth, sparing no expense, to cheat the system so they could set their children up for success with the best education money could buy, literally.
Investigators say in Zangrillo's case, he's accused of paying a woman named Michaela Sanford to secretly take classes on behalf of his daughter so that the grade Sanford earned in Zangrillo's daughter's name could be submitted to USC as part of her application. The feds say the scheme also included getting Zangrillo's daughter accepted as a member of the rowing team. Court documents list the coach as saying, "Okay, I will take her. You guys help us, we'll help you." Investigators say parents paid big sums of money.
Some spent anywhere from $200,000 to $6.5 million for guaranteed admission. Their actions were, without a doubt, insidious, selfish, and shameful.
In this case, court papers say Zangrillo paid $200,000 to a charitable account and $50,000 to USC Women's Athletics. And investigators say they're not done yet. More people can still be charged in this case. Live in Miami Beach, Ted Scouten, CBS 4 News.
Ted, thank you. And look